Hello, everybody in ESR land. I am not Mike Stofmeel, but I am cosplaying as him today. So there you go. I get that fun. With me is Mike Stofmeel's teammate Javier Perez Torres. Say hello to the people, Javi.
Hi, everybody.
We are going to be demoing a driver swap / the important things that come with a multi-driver race, and things that you just may not have experienced before, even if you've done a race with us before, because this whole multi-driver thing, it is complex, it is interesting, and mistakes can be made. So I do want to delve into some things. Number one, you'll note that the car we have is the Emil Frey Lexus car, but it has been moved to car number 23. This is the custom entry that I've set up for all the teams. It assigns a number to the Steam accounts as opposed to the car. As a result, we have the ability to make any livery, any number, as long as it's a real number, i.e. 1 to 99 or to 999, because if it starts with a 0, it's not a real number and the game doesn't accept it. So no, if you want to be car number 0, you can't be. If you need proof of that, try taking the Mercedes that actually is car number 0, join a server, and realize that it always changes the number on it. So there you go. So I have it set up to do 70-minute sessions. I will drive the formation lap and then one flying lap and then hand the controls over to the intrepid Javi Perez Torres, in which case I will show off the basically what happens when you're not in the car, what you can do, because there are some people that are concerned about being, for lack of a better term, bored when they are not in the car. And hopefully I can lay those fears to rest. Which means I get the hard job of doing this damn formation lap. For those who have never done a formation lap on the multiplayer server alone, I swear it's way more finicky and way easier to get a penalty. I don't know what the deal with it is. So let's see here. All the things we have here. So in the lower left-hand corner of my screen, well, not really left-hand corner, but beside where my my position in the race is, for lack of a better term, where the MFD would be. There we go. You can see the driver time stint. Each driver must run at least one stint, and they cannot run for more than 70 minutes. However you guys want to divide up that time is your call. If you want to do like 3 stints in the race or 2 stints in the race, it does not matter to me. There are no rules governing this. It's just that neither driver may exceed 70 minutes. Which is particularly apt for Javi here because he's got Mike Stofmeel as his teammate. I'm sure you guys want to run Mike Stofmeel for like the whole race.
Yes.
And that is where that comes in, of course, because that's a Pro-Am thing. Now, I am disappointed on one thing, and that is that I was hoping that cars would get a Pro-Am number plate if they were Pro-Am. The problem is that it appears the game doesn't do that. The game simply will change the number plate at the pit stop, and it will turn silver for Javi instead of white for Mike Stofmeel. And actually myself, I don't know how, but somehow I have a gold rating in the ESR performance index. I need to do worse, is what this tells me, because I should not be a gold driver. So that does mean that I'm going to have to change how the cups are done, because there is no point in having a Pro-Am cup if in the game you can't tell what cars are Pro-Am. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten this up to an Am Cup, which will be bronze teams and silver teams. A Silver Cup, which will be double silver, as well as, at my discretion, a gold-silver team. If it's a low-end gold and like a low-end silver, they'll be Silver Cup instead of being Pro Cup. Doesn't really make any sense to have them in Pro Cup if they really can't realistically compete. And then, of course, anything like gold or anything involving a platinum will be Pro Cup. And gold, bronze will probably be eligible for Silver Cup, is how I'll probably do that. So I'll adjust everyone's ratings today in that regard. Ooh, teleportation for a moment there. So, now to get to the start-finish line without taking a penalty would be ideal. Javier, you got a penalty at Nürburgring. How did it feel?
It felt really bad because there was no place to do it. Everything was super crowded.
Well, keep in mind at the start, everybody is ghosted, so... I know, it's so counterintuitive. If you look at my Nürburgring... Well, I didn't upload my Nürburgring online on board, so that actually doesn't really work. But if you had looked at my Nürburgring on board, I do totally brake to avoid hitting Wayne, even though he's ghosted, and therefore I wouldn't have actually hit him. Holding it below 70. There we go. No penalty received. Now I'm going to do one flying lap, and then I'm going to hand the car over to Javier, and we're going to see what the out of car looks like. I'm not sure if you have to do anything on your end, Javi, to swap the car. I think it's all on my end, but just like kind of pay attention to your screen and let me know if there's anything that pops up.
Will do. One thing that I did do is I button assigned my change camera, so that helped a lot because I was only looking at you from a broadcast view.
I have that as well because every so often I do pull into swingman camera if I'm looking to get a look at the damage to my car. Because obviously, if you go swingman and then you look behind yourself, you can see the front end and see just how bad the bumper is hanging off the car.
Right.
So that's handy to use, even if it's something you won't use in most races, and if you do use it, it means the race is not going very well. But
right.
but it is there. Okay. This turn, I never can figure out how much to brake for. So, as a general rule, do not use Mike's lines around the track because, I mean, you're watching a low-end gold driver. Go watch a frickin' platinum driver and learn their lines.
Oh yeah, I'm expecting to get a long paragraph about everything I do wrong in this track from Stofmeel, so that will be fun.
You have the best teammate you can get, sir. You cannot complain.
No, I am more than excited. I am here to learn. So, who best to learn that from the best?
Indeed. And the best is either Mike Stofmeel or Maxi Lantini. I think it's Stofmeel, to be honest, because he still is... he's also in not a very good car this season, so Maxi beating him in a Porsche is not super impressive. Okay, so why is that going on? Anyways, I had a weird thing going on there. Hopefully that's not something you guys deal with. Anyways, I'm swapping over to Javi. It is now says that I'm requesting a driver change with Javier Perez Torres. And I have 1 hour and 7 minutes left in my stint to use. He has 1 hour 10. And as a general note, I noticed when I was doing this earlier that the engine stop is really, really early on this pit lane. It's a bit weird. Alright, so hopefully Javi is getting in the car now.
Yeah, I'm looking at our initials to see.
This is as far as I got with Rochelle when I was trying to record earlier. Her game would crash at this point.
I mean, I am in the car, like the view. I also am back to... Oh, there it is.
There we go. Go, go, go. Alright, so I am now watching Javi drive. Which means I can play around with the camera. I can go into... Oh, apparently I can't go into broadcast view. That's a little bit annoying. But I could still...
Yeah, that went away after the warm-up lap.
Yeah, I could ride on his swingman and check out what's going on. If he's got cars around him, I could be his kind of advanced spotter. So that helps out. Can I? I can also return to the garage and click on other cars and watch them if I need to. So that's useful.
You get the timetables from there?
Yep, you get the timetables from there as well.
That's handy.
So you can do some work with them, and if you want to get back in the car with your driver, you just hit drive. And I'm back in with Javier Perez Torres. So you can do all kinds of things. You can spy on other drivers, rivals, and so on. The only thing that kind of bugs me, just because it really feels like you should be able to see it, is you can't see the driving stints when you're not in the car. Which would be handy, because you could track that for your teammate and basically be like, okay, you got 5 minutes left in your maximum time, means you got to pit in the next 2 laps. So the fact that you can't do that is a little bit disturbing.
I thought it would also show you the tire temps and kind of the fuel that you had, but I couldn't see that either.
It does not. So it's not quite as cool as I would have liked. Like it does feel like that they should have given you the ability to have more information as the spotter. But alas, you do not, which is a bit disappointing. But at the same time, you're certainly not useless at this point. You can do all kinds of things. I can't really give you much because we don't have another car on the track, but if we had another car on the track, I could go show and follow them. And if Javi was being chased by somebody, I could be in the reverse camera watching behind him, like I am right now. So there is that. Oh, you can see the number. Oh. See, now I'm kind of curious, Javi. It is giving you the pro license plate, despite the fact that you're silver. I'm wondering if I was wrong on the cup idea. We're gonna have to do another quick demo to see if it works, but
no problemo.
But basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change myself into change you into an amateur, a bronze level driver, and then see if it gives us the black number plate or not.
Cool.
Because that's the big question. Everything else is easy enough, because Pro-Am is the only cup class that a driver number plate can't be, because obviously there is no such thing as a Pro-Am driver. It's very contradictory.
It's an oxymoron.
Yeah, it's I guess semi-pro would maybe work. I guess, I don't know, but I guess a semi-pro driver is just a silver driver. So there you go. But yeah, we'll see if that works. But interesting. What if I go to the timetable? Does it have you as a silver? Let's see. Turn to garage, timetable. No, it has you as a pro. I'm very intrigued by this. I'm not sure what's going on.
While you're on the onboard camera in the car, can you press F2 and mess with the HUD, the HUDs?
Yes. I can.
That's kind of cool.
I can pull up the track map. I can pull up the basic HUD. I can pull up the help screen if we ever were to need it. I can pull up the timetable and the broadcast HUD. I can't access the broadcast camera. That's a little bit lame. But so if the Assetto Corsa devs ever look at this whole thing, this whole video, you could let us do more. I guess is what I'm getting at. But otherwise, you certainly can help the guy in the car, I guess is my point. So bring us into the pits this time around, Javi, and swap back to me as a driver. That way they can see the other end of the handoff.
Copy.
I'm going to say it right now. I think you brake too much for that turn. But I'll leave that to Stofmeel to decide if you want how aggressive you guys want to be there.
I'm just trying not to overdrive it because I know there's a recording going, you know?
Doesn't want to make a mistake on camera. Fair enough. I really got to turn down my my temporal post-processing because I'm getting that whole like ghost car thing going on right now, which is interesting. It's not a problem when you're in the cockpit, but when you're out of the cockpit, you definitely see it. Alright, so Javi should dart into the pit lane. And then he can either agree with me or disagree if he thinks that this pit lane's a bit awkwardly located with the stop point. I think it's a little bit further back than usual.
I mean, at the entry point, it's pretty blind. You don't even see it. So
oh no, I mean like
it's pretty weird.
I mean the literal pit box. Feels like you have to stop. Okay. Feels like you have to stop a little bit further back than you do at other tracks. Okay, now let's see what the handoff looks like from this side. Get my camera view ready for racing. There we go.
I'm still in control.
Well, yeah, it won't change over until the pit stop's done. Did you remember to request the driver change?
I did not. I'm sorry.
There we go.
Okay, so let me do another lap. Sorry.
Do another lap. There, I've returned to garage this time, so I'll be able to see if you've requested the driver change or not.
I did.
There we go.
I just did a pit stop.
There we go. I have now requested to get into the car.
Would you like me to take off the suspension and bodywork fixes to see how long the actual driver swap is?
It'll be 30 seconds. It's that same default. Like, the reason we have the 30-second pit stop normally is to basically...
is the driver swap?
It is the driver swap, yeah.
Huh. The more you learn.
Yeah, that's why every pit stop in a mandatory pit stop race is, or every pit stop that is a mandatory pit stop is 30 seconds long. It can't be shorter. That's why we refuel even though we could carry enough fuel to go the whole distance in our races. Because the game is baked into, of course, the SRO rule set, which incorporates a driver swap.
I was just being self-conscious about my weight.
What's interesting is one of the GT4 combo cars, and I really got to look at next time they do a driver. I need to go back and watch the 2019 season and see how the driver swap looked for that team, because it's a girl and a rather large dude, like by driver standards. At least he's not actually all that large, but it does seem like that's a bad idea for a driver combo, because you'd think that there'd be huge adjustments for the seat and stuff.
A couple cushions had to be moved, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's why a guy like me actually gets in with a lot of the gentleman drivers quite well, because I'm a rotund individual, and therefore can more or less sit in their seat. All right, so he's requested the driver swap. It doesn't look like I have to do anything other than stay in the server, which Rochelle was unable to do earlier, and the driver swap will occur.
Yeah, when I had to do the driver swap, patience was the name of the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, because you're just psyching yourself up for a long time. So I'm gonna hit drive, and I should be transferred control of the car once we get far enough into the pit stop.
20 seconds.
I wish I had. It's weird that I don't get the timer. It's a bit.
Well, I'm your buddy. That's why I'll give it to you. 5,
I know.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And I am back in the car. Also, make sure that you change your HUD over, because I was a little bit worried there for like a half second. I had the blank HUD on still, and then I just hit F2 and I'm back. I just thought it would have done that automatically. But it did not, so always remember that, everybody. And we can see that Javier still has 1 hour and 2 minutes of driving time left. And Mike Stofmeel, as I am cosplaying as him. Whoa, you got the traction control way up on this thing. Or was I driving?
I didn't want to crash it, but I also wanted to be a little stylish, you know?
Was I driving at 5/8 before? I don't think I was, but maybe
No, I moved it.
Okay.
I was hoping you would see it in the camera when I took control.
No, you do not. So, I would suggest if you're going to change traction controls or things like that, you're going to want to tell your partner that you've made those changes. That way they can settle back into a whatever they find comfortable when they get into the car.
You got a nice 30 seconds to do that.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Javi got an under 2-minute lap. That's not bad. So I'll just finish up one hot lap here. Javi, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, because if you have questions, I'm sure other people in the audience do. And I can either answer them or try to figure out an answer.
So you said stints can be pretty much arranged how they want to be, as long as they're within the time limit?
Exactly. So we have 120 minutes, obviously, in the race, plus whatever we run over. And as a result, you could each run 60 minutes. But obviously, we don't want to set it that it's 60-60, because then you have all kinds of problems with actually, like, finding the appropriate point. So that's why we went 70. Basically, we went 70-50 for easy. For ease to leave a margin for error, basically. Now, if you, for example, let's say you and Stofmeel want to run 60 minutes apiece, that could be in the form of Stofmeel doing 30 minutes at the start of the race, then you doing 60, and then him doing 30 at the end, for example. That could be a dead-on 60 minutes. That could be even shorter if you want. I don't think you want to do any more than 2 pit stops, though. I just feel like that's probably losing time. But people could have specific requirements, family getting in the way. I have my cushion finally, so I don't have this problem, but I used to have the problem where my ass would fall asleep after about 30 minutes. And I would really want to get up and, like, stretch. So
the long runs were a killer, huh?
Yeah, so if I was given a driver swap and I didn't have my cushion, which is solved... It solved the problem, but it did create a new one. Now my lower back is a little bit more locked up, but I'm very used to that. My lower back is just messed up in general. Fused vertebrae are not fun. We'll put it that way.
Well, I'm also thinking it in the sense of, like, I tend to fall apart at the end, so if I could just be like, here, Stofmeel, take the last 30 minutes. That's pretty awesome.
Well, then you could do the 30-60-30 idea. That could work.
I mean, give him the start and then give him the end, and then I just chill back, you know?
That could work. I mean, it's literally whatever you guys think will work. That's why
it's very open. I'm excited.
I'm not imposing any rules on it beyond the fact that, you know, you cannot have a driver in the car for more than 70 minutes.
I'm also pretty hyped about how that will affect setup and pit stops to change brakes. I don't know if people will do that.
2 hours, I don't think we're looking at a brake swap. Just because all the brakes have the ability to go 2 hours. So
they can?
Maybe brake number 1 can't. But I think brake 2 and 3 for sure can.
But then your last driver has to be very mindful of that, you know?
I mean,
I'm assuming the wear is going to be pretty high at that point.
I don't know. Like, you got to remember, like a lot of the, like, this is a 2-hour enduro race, right? Which is the lowest form of enduro race in real racing. Like, you don't even see 2 hours. Like, 2 hour is considered an endurance race, but it's not even, like, you would never see anything less than like a 3-hour race. So I don't think there's going to be any massive problem with the brakes, unless you have a driver who is really unkind to the brakes. Someone like I can't resist it, Martin Edmonds. I'm throwing the shade. I'm throwing shade.
I knew that was coming.
Martin, the master of brake fade Edmonds, might have a problem, but
he might need a brake change. So there you go.
Well, he's not racing, so I'm trying to convince him to race. I need a partner. I need somebody, because the only free driver out there is Guillermo Martinez, and he doesn't want to partner with me because, like, he needs someone who speaks Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish.
Give my man me a chance.
Side?
Except for the Porsches. We don't want Porsches, right?
Well, that was the thing. Is I had the option to join a Jeff, but he's like, I'm running a Porsche. I'm like, I am not running a Porsche for this event, my friend. Like, I am not doing that.
Just change the driver and the car mid-race. You're fine.
Totally fine. So, I don't know. Maybe me and Jeff will still link up. I notice he still doesn't have a partner. Maybe he'll get desperate and run a car that I actually want to run. And that'll be the partnership.
And hopefully more people see this video and join more. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a lot more people in the community, and I mean, it's always the problem that, like, we're dealing with a 3 p.m. to, like, 6 p.m. block of time for the Eastern time zone. So, of course, if you got family, that's going to get in the way of dinner. Tough. If you're on the West Coast, like, the West Coast, I imagine would be fine. That I should ask Ben Schwari, actually, if he would like to join. He's an old Zero racer who's recently gotten back into the habit. I could get him. He's quite quick.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Stofmeel and I's time difference. I could be like, hey, if you want to go to sleep, I'll take the last part.
I mean, that would help, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that a multi-driver race does free it up for, like, some availability that wouldn't be there normally. Because, yeah, exactly, like, once you've done your 50 minutes in the car that you have to do, you can go to bed.
No. You should spot for your teammate.
You should, but I am leaving that as an option, that is a thing that might happen. That there might be some people who just go to bed or whatever, or find it really boring. Okay, so anything else? You are the audience asking questions right now, so try and think of anything.
No.
Even if you personally don't think it's a question, but you don't think we've covered it, that's totally viable.
Setups are pretty much static from the end to the beginning to the end, right?
Yeah, if you look at the pit stop options, I've pulled the pit stop menu up here for anyone to see. You can change tires, you can change brakes, but that is about it. So if you and your partner drive, like, very, very differently, and it's borderline dangerous for one of you to run the other one's setup, you're going to have to find some kind of compromise, or you're really going to be at risk for about half the race. So that is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'm going to have to put in some practice time in the Stofmeel setup.
Well, the thing is that you don't have to get too aggressive with the Lexus setup, so you guys actually should be relatively fine. I find
it's a fairly stable car, so...
Like, I was watching endurance race at Hungaroring last week in ACC, and it was being broadcast on YouTube, and the guy I was watching was driving a Lexus, and they were basically running just the stock aggressive setup. Like, there wasn't really much in the way of changes. It's why I actually think the Lexus is, like, the best beginner car in the game, just because it's not that it's the fastest car. It's not even that it's the easiest to drive car, because I think there are easier to drive cars. But there is very little tuning needed to get this thing up to speed. which is really nice.
What about in the sense of weather changes throughout the race?
There will be a chance of weather change, obviously, as there is with all of our ESR races, but I am going to keep it relatively low, so that we could we could definitely see some wet though. Like that's 100% what could happen.
I mean, of course, extreme example, but we start off sunny, ends up with a storm, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah. It's possible.
That's cool.
I'm trying to avoid that with the settings in general, to avoid monsoon conditions or anything. This area of France, Paul Ricard, is not really a big storm section, so I'm probably going to go with a very, very static weather. But there will be that chance, and that chance will be revealed before the race starts, what is our percentage of rain for the race. But it'll be low. Traditionally 13% has been what we've been going with. And I'll probably actually maybe even aim for lower this time. Because
what about the time multiplier?
Time multiplier is not in effect. It'll be it'll be ×1. Just because there's no real point in doing a 2-hour time or 2 times time multiplier with our start time. We're not going to get into the evening with the race anyways. So. You can see it's 3:30 right now in the server. And, well, you may not be able to, actually.
I can.
Okay. And, yeah. So the race will end at about 5 p.m. So, nothing super late.
Cool.
Okay.
I can't come up with any more questions, but I'm sure people will put them in the comments if they do have them.
If you got comments, or if you got comments in general or questions, put them down there below. I'm apparently way slower than Javier, and this is embarrassing. I'm running 2:01s. You ran a 1:58. You're 3 seconds faster than me. This is terrible.
It's the traction control.
No, it's just I am never good at this track, I think is what it comes down to. It's a really safe and simple track, but I don't know. There are a couple of corners that I just don't have my head around, so not a rousing endorsement for me as a teammate, but I'm just saying, it's like me or Guillermo. So if you don't speak Spanish, you gotta come through me.
Magus is mucho bueno.
I'm gonna finish off with some car availability thoughts. Some people have been asking about some of the older cars. Since this is a bit of a power circuit, you could possibly run something like the Jaguar and be semi-competitive, or like the V12 Aston. I still don't think it's a good idea. One of the teams we have is we're going to try to run the Ryder, which, I don't know about that, but...
Good luck!
We gotta find out. Can't really think of anything else. We'll be starting at the normal 3 p.m. time. Actually, we'll probably be starting a little bit earlier, but what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to beef up the practice session. And we'll start up at 2, but with 2-hour practice sort of thing. Probably what we'll do. That way you have more time, because of course, downside of the multiple drivers, you guys are sharing one car during the practice session. So, giving that extra time will allow both drivers some time in the car to get acclimated, get warmed up, and all of that fun. Can't really think of anything else to bring up. I am still missing some Steam IDs, some car selections, some stuff like that. Keep in mind, that has to be gotten in, otherwise you're just not going to be allowed to race. And at least I got my fastest lap down to a 2:08. No.
Hey.
I'm only 2.4 slower than Javier. Less embarrassing. I'm embarrassing Stofmeel's name right now.
Oh no. But yes, get your IDs and car stuff in, please.
And if you've not signed up, it's not too late. I don't actually have a deadline other than, if we get to August 23rd and you have not gotten your shit to me, sorry, I'm not messing with the entry list at that point, because those who are unaware, one error in the entry list makes the entire file not work. So, not doing that. If you have gotten your stuff in, please hop on the server, test out, make sure that you, A, know how to driver swap, B, that you've done properly, because I may have, I'm overwriting people's names in this as well. So, make sure I spelt your name correctly, make sure that I got your Steam ID correct, and therefore you are who the game thinks you are. And, yeah. Well, and get some practice in. And a couple of people need to also talk to me about getting classifications. I'm going to be on Tuesday helping, I think it's Ryan Cromwell Knight. The last name is definitely Cromwell Knight. I can't... no, it's Colin. Colin Cromwell Knight will be doing his driving test. He recently had back surgery, so he is a little bit tentative as to how well he'll do. But we will see. And he is going to be John Peach's teammate for the 2 hours of Paul Ricard. Alright, so I'm just going to pull over here, and we can end it here, and then me and Javi are going to test out something. I want to see if it'll... I want to see if I can get a car to get classified as Pro-Am, basically, is the goal here. But that is everything we could think about. If you have questions, post them in the comments below, or you can ask on Discord if you want. And I'm going to put this as like guide video, whatever number I'm up to. And there we go.